Welcome to the Cherith podcast. I am Evelyn Ngatia, your host. I am a born-again believer in Jesus Christ, a child of God, also a learning consultant focusing on secure leadership. This podcast has 3 pillars: faith, mental health, and secure leadership. I welcome you. Let's learn, let's grow, let's heal together. Let's walk together on this journey to secure leadership. Happy learning. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching this from or wherever you're listening to this from. I am your host, Evelyn Ngatia. So welcome to the Cherith podcast. Today we have a very interesting guest. Last session, we spoke about an introduction to what the Cherith podcast is, but then I also shared a testimony and how to overcome codependency. And so this is a good segue to what we discussed the last time, understanding the roots of insecure leadership. So I mentioned about the 3 pillars of the Cherith podcast, which is faith, which is basically about being anchored in Jesus Christ, which is, the anchor for my soul, but also mental health and secure leadership. So in today's session, which is titled Roots of Insecure Leadership, we'll be hinging on at the intersection of leadership and mental health. So we're going to be discussing roots of insecure leadership, looking at 3 things: codependency, narcissism, and attachment styles. We have a very special guest today who's going to help us unpack that. She's a very talented and knowledgeable psychologist who's very knowledgeable on narcissism. So I warmly welcome you, Dr. Winnie Waiyaki, to this podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you for honoring my invite. It's such a pleasure to have you because I know how knowledgeable you are on this subject. So thank you. Karibu sana.
Thank you for having me.
Mm-hmm.
Narcissism is one of my pet subjects. I wouldn't call myself an expert, but I've invested heavily in narcissism.
Yeah.
So it's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I noticed that you're a lawyer. Your background is law. That caught my attention. So you're not only, and I think just maybe describe, are you a clinical psychologist, a counseling psychologist? What should we refer to you, and what's the difference?
Okay. So I am a clinical psychologist. A clinical psychologist is quite concerned about mental illnesses. So a counseling psychologist will deal, we call it slightly maladjusted situations, which don't amount to a mental disorder, a sickness like depression, anxiety, schizophrenia. So a counseling psychology, which is where I started, a counseling psychologist deals with normal problematic issues, like divorce and etc. So it's a continuum. I can deal with all those and then mental disorders. And then I stop where a psychiatrist takes over and prescribes medication.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for the education. I always confuse the two, clinical and counseling.
Yes.
And so, following up from the last episode where I shared my testimony about codependency. So I want us to pick up from there. Maybe, from your really technical expert terms.
Yeah.
What is codependency and what causes it?
Sorry, I didn't address the lawyer bit.
Yes. Go ahead.
In my former life, I used to be a lawyer. I practiced law for 18 years. And then I usually say I saw the light. My eyes opened as to my purpose. And so I discovered my purpose is not being served by practicing law. So I entered into psychology. So when you ask me the technical understanding of codependency, that is now where I spring from these days, the technical aspects of psychology.
That's very interesting. And I think to the audience, that's something that maybe we'll unpack later. The pivoting from law to psychology, and you mentioned purpose, which is one of the things that I'm sure we'll unpack later, in the sense of how can leaders become more secure is being anchored in purpose. So that's a discussion for another day. But thank you for bringing that up.
All right.
So back to the question, what is codependency and what causes it?
Okay, so codependency and many people confuse it with dependency, because dependency is where you depend on something. But codependency actually originated from the addiction space, where it was observed that people would be addicts, but there are people around them who enabled them, who, without intending to, supported the habit. And so they were said to be codependent. So that was pulled into other areas of life, now to mean an emotional, psychological, behavioral way of being that a person abandons themselves. Now look at the connection with the addict. You forget your needs and give all your life to the addict. So you neglect yourself because you're concentrating more on the addict. So it's the same way with codependency. A person ignores their needs, sort of totally has no sense of self. They cannot advocate for themselves. They don't even know sometimes that they have those needs. So they do things for people at their own expense. I don't know whether that makes it clear. And this comes from childhood experiences that were unpleasant.
Yeah.
People would talk of dysfunctional families, chaotic families, where a person learned to survive. I have to take care of this situation at home. And therefore, they learned to ignore their own needs. And so when they are walked all over on, or, people are in need, they go to help people, but forget to help themselves. It is actually called self-abandonment. Yeah. So you find with codependency, they're problematic relationships. The person forms problematic relationships because they don't know how to stand up for themselves. They'll either be oppressed, give too much. You've heard people saying, I give so much in this relationship and I get nothing back. Yeah, so you learn to give, because when you give in a hostile environment, you survive. But then when you come back to yourself, you're very resentful because the things you do for people, they don't do for you. They'll say, oh, Evelyn, call Evelyn anytime she's ready, but nobody's there for Evelyn.
Yeah.
Evelyn, so
Absolutely.
so that's codependency, really a lack of self.
Yeah.
And a total an awareness that I don't have a self-identity.
And when you talk about, so I've noted two things. You've talked about an addiction. The way you described it, is it an addiction? Is it when a person is codependent in terms of addiction? Does it mean that they are so dependent on this alcohol? Let's use alcohol as an addiction.
Yes.
Or what is that part they've lost themselves to?
Or what is the codependency in? So actually, it is not the addict.
Right.
Who is codependent. It is the caregiver. Yes. Yeah, the caregiver who is so immersed in this problem that they forget themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. So that was the origin. That's where it came from.
Yeah.
But now it has come to have a wider application.
Yes.
Where we are, we look at you and say, you're not taking care of yourself. You're taking care of people more than you're taking care of yourself. Yes. You're more conscious of other people's needs, which is a good thing, but it is usually at your own expense. The way codependents give themselves to the addict and forgot themselves.
Yes.
Yeah. Enabled the addict even.
Yes.
For example, if, let's say, my brother is an addict.
Yeah.
And then he keeps calling me, oh, the cops have caught me. And then I go and help him out of jail all the time. I am helping him out and we solve, the matter seems quiet for now. But what have I done to myself? I have created a situation where the addict will always call me. So I'm not thinking that I'm actually putting myself in trouble. I think I'm helping, but I'm actually sacrificing myself.
That's true.
Yeah. So that's where it came from.
I see. So I see the connection now between that, losing yourself. And I think there's one book I read where it talks about the disease of lost selfhood.
Yes, yes.
So it's like you lose yourself and you're caretaking other people. So now in the case of codependency and growing up in a hostile environment, what are those needs? Not necessarily addicted caregivers, but what are those other people who the codependent now is taking care of their needs? What kind of people, what kind of parents or caregivers are those?
Okay, let me see whether I get your question. Are you asking in what situations can we say there's codependency?
Yes, especially between a child and a parent. That dynamic. What kind of parents produce codependent children?
Okay, I get the question. Actually, it's also in answer to how does codependency arise in homes? So there are many ways. One of them is parentification, where parents abdicate their roles as parents and children take over, or a child takes over. Right. And mostly this happens with firstborns because, you grow up being told you are the oldest, take care of your siblings. So when a person carries the responsibilities beyond their capacity, they learn that, I don't need to take care of myself. I must take care of others. So that's parentification. Okay. Where there is neglect, when parents neglect their responsibilities, a person learns they are not important. So I don't have to take care of myself. You see how it arises? Yeah. In communities, perhaps even the community I come from, you will hear it being said, this child is only 6 and you should know the things they do. They wake up early, they clean the house, they wash the clothes. So the community lauds such responsibility.
Yes,
but this is responsibility beyond one's age. And so they learn, I am not to be taken care of. I am the one to take care of people. Wow. Yeah. Wow. I watched a clip, I think it's part of a movie, where the mother died. There are about 6 children and a father. The mother died. So the oldest, in that clip, the oldest was dividing duties among the 6. So you make sure you come with food for supper, and they are small children. You're taking care of dinner today? Yes. Oh, and I've remembered I have to do the rent. One of them says. The other one says, oh, we need medicine for daddy. I'll work on that. And the dad drinks and sits and watches his children do everything. So those children learn we must take care of others. Yeah. Never ourselves. Yeah. Wow.
In as much as it seems like a nice thing, it builds into adulthood and what... And now that's my next question. So when you grow up, you've grown up in a household where as a child you've been neglected, you've been parentified.
Yes.
And now you grow up, you're an adult and you're a leader. Okay?
Yeah.
You come into the workplace. So how does that codependency show up in the workplace or as a leader?
Oh, okay. So you can imagine this child, although they can't articulate it, but they get the message, I am not important. I don't deserve to be taken care of. I am the one who has to take care of mommy. Because she drinks, she forgets herself, she has to eat, I have to take care of her. But that means I'm not worth taking care of. So the first thing we see in leadership is a low self-esteem.
Right.
Because it's been confirmed over and over again.
Right.
You don't matter, but you don't. Oh, visitors have come, make tea for them. And nobody ever stops to say, sit down, I take care of you. So I'm not worth taking care of. So that's a big one. But, and this may seem contradictory, but with that low self-esteem, there's a very strong need to be in control. Remember, we are describing chaotic households that resulted in assuring me that I'm not worth anything. But now I'm an adult. And I need for people not to see that I am as lowly as I feel every day. So I must be in control.
Right.
And you can imagine how that can be in the workplace. If anybody seems to be becoming better than me, I have to suppress them. So we are talking about roots of insecurity, of insecure leaders. That's a very serious root for I can't be caught pants down. I always have to be
in control.
If anything is going wrong, I must make sure it is. Of course, closely related to that is perfectionism. Everything must be perfect so that I can become worthy.
Right. So you tend to overperform so that you can earn the worth.
Yes.
Or people's approval.
Yes.
So you end up being a people pleaser.
In fact, that was going to be the next thing I was going to say, people pleaser, because I have to remain liked. Because if I'm not liked, it confirms my unworthiness. So actually at the root of everything around codependency is a feeling of I am not worthy.
Right.
Yeah. And you spend a whole lifetime trying to establish your worth.
Let me jump. I know this is a bit jumping the gun a bit because we're going to talk about narcissism.
Yes.
And one of the traits of narcissism is control. So what's the difference between the control of narcissism and the control of someone who's codependent?
Yes. The codependent person is coming from, I'm worth something. Please notice that I'm worth. Please notice I am not as useless. I'm trying constantly to prove I am worthy. Right. The narcissistic person wants you to know who is in charge here. It is all about me.
Right.
And you have to toe the line because it's about me. Yeah. Does the difference come out?
Yes.
Yeah. It's like understood. The codependent is a sort of begging.
Like I just need to survive this.
Yes. But the narcissist is like, you have to know who is in charge here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, again, springing from the unworthiness, I keep coming back to it because I don't want you to keep confirming my unworthiness. I don't want conflict.
Right.
Conflict avoidance. Yeah. So peace at all costs. Let's have harmony. And when the organization talks about harmonious working relationships, the codependent leader is the best. Because harmony is so important for them
at all costs, including their own well-being.
And that is exactly, and that's the downside, because we can push so many things under the carpet so that there's no conflict. Yeah, so that's a big one. And you can imagine in relationships what that does. You don't want to rock the boat.
Yeah.
And so you, as we say in West Eastlands, where I come from, you kanyagia, hold it in. You hold what should be addressed about you in, so that you don't rock the boat. And so you can appear to be a very agreeable person, but you become angry because nobody is attending to those needs because you've hidden them so carefully.
Yeah.
And yet you want to be heard, be seen, but you're constantly suppressing yourself. So can you see the conflict a codependent is always in?
At this point, I want to jump in, because if you hold on to all that anger and all that stuff, meaning there's no outlet, how does it affect you in terms of your physical, your body, your not just your mental well-being, but also your body?
Yeah, because there's a very strong mind, brain, body connection. We are actually a very a very complexly created, what do I call it? You see the way I'm doing my hands?
Yes, we've understood what you're saying. Connected, interconnected.
There's such serious connectivity that when one is not working, it affects the others. And we find blood pressure problems arising from this, ulcers, all manner of, if you read a man called Gabor Mate, Gabor Mate is an expert at showing how problems in the mind manifest in the body, in sicknesses that we even call incurable. Yeah, but it all started with a stressor. Maybe in childhood, maybe in adulthood, but which the body says, oh, let me help you carry that emotional pain. People in so much pain, they can say, you're really simplifying it to just emotional pain, but also trauma. Trauma is stored up in the body. And trauma is not a beautiful thing. It doesn't make the body healthy. It attacks the systems of the body. So, but that has been the experience in my practice. We deal with very deeply traumatic issues, and the symptoms, the eyes that were not seeing start seeing, the feet that was full of sores start walking. Gradually, I see a reduction in symptoms.
That's very encouraging, because I think sometimes people have struggled with this sicknesses which they have symptoms, but no one can seem to pinpoint what is the cause of this disease or whatever. And when they come to therapy and they get healed and suddenly the symptoms disappear, there's definitely a connection between the mind and the body. So if you have trauma stored up inside you, then that's exactly what you're explaining. So thanks for bringing that out. I think a lot of people have struggled in that area on different fronts. And so I don't know whether you are done or we can go into, you still have some points?
Okay. I don't know what picture has emerged of the codependent leader, but this has to be said for them. Remember, they have been caretakers or caregivers from a very early age. And this goes with them into adulthood. And as leaders, they will be your most empathic bosses, in the workplace. They listen, you need the day off. Okay, you need them. Just go and let me know. Text me and tell me how you are doing. So that would be the boss everyone likes. The downside with that is they are not able, and this is another big feature of because of lack of an idea of self. The issue of boundaries are very blurry, right? You don't know where you as the boss ends, and you'll find many bosses becoming very tight to the extent that they can't discipline their staff. So boundary lines are always blurred.
Interesting.
But because they are not able to draw the line, I can be an empathic boss, but I can also be a strict boss, And you see, they're also conflict avoidant. So the lines completely get blurred.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That really, so how then can we heal this codependent leader? What do we do?
Wow, codependency, simple as it sounds, a lot of researchers in this area talk about 3 to 4 years of intense therapy. or intense deliberate work to heal out of codependency. First, it takes a long while even to understand, oh, this is what I am, so it takes a while. So I would hesitate to say it's a quick fix. There's any quick fix way to deal with it. But the most important thing is self-awareness. Once that leader is helped to understand, why am I like this? That's actually Freud, the originator of psychology, said insight is 90% of the issue. Because
so
once you get it,
it's like a light bulb.
You take it and run.
Yeah.
And so I usually would encourage, put such a person in therapy and help them develop self-compassion.
Yeah.
Because you have to now start finding who is Evelyn, who is Winnie, who am I? And so what do I want? What do I need? What are my goals in life?
Yeah.
So in therapy, you can learn how to establish the self. But if they don't go for therapy, they can learn what is codependency, what are the areas in which I struggle, what can I do about them?
Yeah.
Very basic. Yeah, that's what I'd say. But, codependents have a lot of negative self-talk. Remember, the self-esteem is low, and the environment confirms to them over and over again, you are not worthy.
Yeah.
So a very simple thing is to capture your negative thoughts. Be aware. We call it meta-thinking. Thinking about what you're thinking. Capture those thoughts. And usually I tell my negative thoughts, sit here.
Like they're a person.
Yes. So I'm fat. What's wrong with being fat? Give me evidence that because I'm fat, I am useless. Where is the evidence? Haven't I accomplished this? Haven't I done this? Haven't I done? Aren't I leading my department? Didn't we win the award for? Yeah, so what are you trying to tell me? Get out of my head. Yeah, those are simple things that people can learn in therapy.
And I think that's a good point, because sometimes we are so much on autopilot. Our thoughts are on autopilot, our emotions are on autopilot. We don't take time to actually think what you're thinking, and interrogate and where's the evidence. So you just take it like it's truth and you run with it.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw something that said, don't believe every thought that lands in your head.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
So you've talked about therapy, and you've touched on something which is very close to my heart, which is self-awareness. Because when you start understanding yourself and the things that you've gone through, whether you're codependent, whether you're, whatever it is, or whether you're, just being aware of who you are, you start to get that lost self back. Back to where it belongs, And so that's a good point in terms of the healing of the codependent leader. I think we can move on to the next topic. Okay. You had something else to share?
No, not on codependency.
Not on codependency. So now, let me take you back to where you talked about the codependent child who grew up caretaking the parents or their caregivers, right? And they grew up into this adult that is, a codependent leader, or in the workplace, or whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
And one of the things that you said was neglect. So there's parentification, there's neglect. And one of the patterns I saw was one of the causes of codependency, ties to narcissism in my own case.
Okay, in the testimony you shared.
In the testimony that I shared. And so my question is narcissism the only, cause of codependency? Or what are the other causes? But maybe that's a subject for another day, because I want to jump now into narcissism.
Okay.
Maybe briefly you can just talk about that.
Yeah, and that's a good bridge to narcissism. Actually, narcissistic parents or parent very easily lead to codependence because you see, narcissism is all about, it is about me. So all children in this family, everything has to be about me as the mother or the father. So it is not about you.
Yeah.
So you learn, oh, I'm not worthy, as we have said.
Yeah.
But narcissism is one of many personality disorders. Most of the other personality disorders, if parents in the home are like that, could also lead to codependency.
Right.
Addiction. One of the parents is an addict. Even, guess what? Poverty. Yeah, these are things we call adverse childhood experiences. Divorce of parents. You know, there's so much adversity that can happen in childhood. Narcissistic parenting included.
Okay.
Even parenting styles, you know, and those are many podcasts later, perhaps.
I know. Let's leave that one there for now, for another day.
Yeah.
But as we talk about now, narcissism as one of the causes of codependency or narcissistic parenting or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
First, you know, how do you describe narcissism and, you know, what are the different types of narcissism, narcissists?
Yes. Okay. I think before we started, I had mentioned to you the thought by one of the leading people who talk about narcissism as saying it is just traits. And because this is out there in the internet, people can come across that and say, oh, it's a small thing. But narcissism is a very serious personality disorder, which means it is a mental health illness. It is a sickness, not just now of the mind, but of the personality. You know, the personality is how we see the world, how we view the world, how we live in the world. That's our personality. And enduringly. So if today I'm selfish, tomorrow I'm very generous, and usually I'm generous, but you can't say she has the personality of a selfish person. It has to be consistent over time.
Right.
And narcissism is one of those. And we have many. We have very many personality disorders. We abbreviate them as PDs.
Okay.
So it is one of them, contrary to that thought that it is not a personality disorder. There are ways of measuring narcissism. The first one, of course, is the clinical experience. When I meet you, I tell, oh, this one is how do I tell all this? Because we have a manual that diagnoses. So when you see this and this and this, in this and this and these conditions, then you confirm the diagnosis. So it's diagnosable. But I must hasten to say there are some people who don't meet the full criteria. They have some traits of narcissism, but they don't meet the full criteria. So this disorder is largely, interestingly, we've come from codependence talking about the self. It's still about the self. But this is a self now that is absolutely involved in itself. Everything is about that self. You see? So
where the codependent had lost themselves, this one focuses on themselves.
Yes.
This one,
yet not in a healthy way. Because, you know, when we talk of treatment for codependency, we are talking about finding yourself.
Right.
But not to exaggerate your sense of self-importance. It is to find yourself so that you nurture yourself in the right way, so that you fit in society, not taking advantage of people and not being taken advantage of. That's a healthy, balanced self. But for a narcissist, everything is about me. So these are the characteristics we see. Grandiosity. Here, I am this big guy. And I know the big guys. I name drop like this. Grandiosity. And you talk about your greatness. Sometimes it is just fantasies.
Yeah.
But there's something about narcissists. They create stories, fantasies that they believe and they act upon.
Really? I'd love to be in the mind of one.
It's a fascinating. It's a very fascinating mind. Many narcissists believe they are special. They are unique. If I'm not in that thing, it can't succeed because it needs me. Not somebody like me, it needs me. And, aren't you guys noticing how I'm great?
Yeah.
So a narcissist has an insatiable need for admiration and praise.
Right.
And if you go slow on that, they remind you. And they can tell you tales of their greatness. Some are very fictional. Remember, fantasy. Fantasy is a very big feature of narcissists. And it can go the opposite way. There's something we call the Othello syndrome. This is where, say, a spouse believes their spouse is having affairs, like happened in the Othello Shakespearean thing. So, because they create fantasies, they can tell you where you were with this man, what time you got home, where you drank, with who you were. They create it in their mind. And I have seen it.
Wow.
I have seen it. You're sleeping with the gardener. You're sleeping with the driver. You're sleeping with... And
they seem to have the story, all adding up.
And it fits. It fits so well until you open your mouth and can say nothing. Until many people who deal with narcissists begin to believe the things the narcissist is saying. It's stated with such certainty.
And confidence.
That you now start...
What kind of conviction is that?
Yes, you start second guessing
yourself. Maybe I slept with the garden.
Yeah, maybe I did.
Yeah, oh my goodness, how twisted is that?
Maybe I bought these shoes with your money. Maybe I actually spent your money. It is so real. And then they tell it to others. Those others believe it. Because it's a concrete story. They believe it and they start we call them flying monkeys.
Yes.
Yeah. They fly with the narcissist against you. And narcissists have victims.
Yeah.
Who in a family setting could be a black sheep.
Yeah.
But they take it also to the workplace. You can find a boss who hates you. You look, and everybody says, why do they hate you are performing? Why does he? It's clear vendetta. So you are the black sheep. Yeah, and then these people who believe him are the flying monkeys.
Pause there on flying monkeys. So these flying monkeys who are used by the narcissist, what kind of personality do they have? Are they also narcissists or because they almost take... It's like they're doing the narcissist's dirty work.
Yeah. To be fair, I'm not sure they are aware that they are being used.
Oh, right.
But I usually say, this person is, for example, always complaining. This narcissist is always complaining about person A.
Yes.
There is a way you flying monkeys, no person A.
Yeah.
Why do you believe the narcissist? Why do you not challenge? Why don't you? So I know they may not be aware of that dynamic.
Yeah.
They may not even be aware person B is a black.
Right.
Yeah, is a black sheep. But you don't have a head. You can't reckon.
Is it that they're afraid of the narcissist?
Mostly they are afraid of the narcissist. Yeah, because remember this profile we are creating of the narcissist ends up being a very fearsome, feared individual.
Yes.
Now, should they happen to be a person of standing in society? And I don't know whether our viewers can think of one particular individual that they know of, a person who is feared, who is revered.
Yes.
And it could be a church minister.
Yeah.
It could be a leader in society.
Yeah.
It is also fathers and mothers in the family, And what is so interesting is that the children of narcissists very easily succumb to narcissists out there because it's a pattern they know. It's a pattern they are used to be put down. A boss who puts you down is a very familiar, and it's very confusing.
Yeah.
Like I left it at home, I have found it here, Yeah, so those are some of the features of a narcissist: exploiting people for their own gain. They are very famous for having no empathy. No empathy. But when we come to talking about types of narcissists, we will see one who looks empathetic.
I can't wait.
I don't know whether to jump there, but
Please.
we can jump there because it breaks down some of these features.
Yeah.
So for us to diagnose narcissism, we need to see at least 5 of those characteristics over a long period of time. Okay. So we are never quick to declare somebody is a narcissist.
Yeah.
You have to experience them a lot. Or rather, that's my personal practice because it's a very difficult condition to treat.
Yeah.
So you want to be very careful before you label somebody a narcissist.
So you've mentioned grandiosity, you've mentioned exploitative. Now you're talking about no empathy.
Yes.
Okay.
Need for admiration.
Yeah. Okay.
Arrogance, haughtiness, how mtajuaji, how will you know who is in the room?
Yeah.
So I have to show you.
Right.
I talk about it, but I also show you.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So when we talk about the types, we can now see these features, how they come out. There's the overt narcissist who is the arrogant one.
Yeah.
Overbearing. You start a sentence, they take over.
Yeah.
You start a project, they know everything about the project. And they know the PS treasury, and they know, covert is the opposite. This one looks like people will call it humble, but they have a very poor sense of self. The overt one is almost next to God in their superiority. But the covert one is sensitive, they hurt easily, they are avoidant, they avoid, they don't want to be criticized. Remember, the self is inflated. So don't criticize me. If you criticize me, you will see what will catch up with you.
So, but so now the covert and the overt, do you, what am I trying to say? The covert and the overt. So the traits of narcissism are still the same. That list of grandiosity, all that exploitative. How does a covert demonstrate grandiosity, for example?
The covert?
Yeah.
They will, like when you criticize them, now you have it coming. Don't you know I have 6 degrees? How dare you?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. This one is not pleasant to be with because they are very disagreeable. they in that thing of not wanting to be criticized, so they are very defensive. They push back a lot, but they are not the noisy one who has to make sure everybody in the room notices them. So that's covert and overt. Antagonistic.
Wait, before you move to, I'm still stuck on the covert. So how would you know a covert? Like, what are the signs to show you? I mean, overt is out there. We all know, we can tell the signs.
Yeah.
But how do you tell, this is what you're dealing with when it comes to a covert narcissist?
You will see, like we said, we need 5 characteristics.
Yes.
So you probably will see a lot of entitlement. You will see exploitation. People who use others.
Right.
Yeah. Let's have a team for this project. And then you will give ideas. They will take it. They'll go to the CEO and say, "This is what I thought last night." So they exploit others. Obviously, they have low empathy.
Okay.
They don't feel. So they feel nothing, stealing your ideas, of course. And you will find them to be very jealous. Now, an example has come to my mind.
Yes.
One time,
Tell us.
One time, we were in a department retreat.
Yeah.
Then our boss suddenly announced, "Some people here think they're the only ones who can become lawyers. And I'm the only lawyer in this department." So I was like, some people think they're the only ones who are brilliant enough to become lawyers. I want to announce, and we were in work groups. So we are busy in our small, then he stands up and suddenly announces,
"Wow,
I have enrolled in Parkland's campus law school. I will be graduating very soon." We were left wondering. People told me, now you put us in trouble. Wait, do you have?
Because everyone knew it was you that it was referring to.
Yeah, so envy.
Yeah,
and it will come out in such. Okay, that could be extreme.
Yeah,
but you'll hear people say, lawyers think they are the best thing that happened to the earth.
Yeah,
it talks like so that.
Yeah.
So this person is not. You can actually say, what's wrong with this person?
Yeah.
Then you see, this is a pattern. In 19 this, they did this. In 20 or what they... Yeah. You see the pattern.
Yeah.
So, and you are right. Covert narcissism is more difficult to recognize. Because it's chini ya maji. Yeah.
Okay. Carry on with the types of narcissists.
Yeah.
Before
we were talking of antagonistic, very similar to both overt and covert. Okay, they exemplify now the arrogance. They actually are super competitive. Even when you're not competing. Have you ever seen somebody, you're driving quietly, then they zoom past you, and then they start showing you signs? I've won.
Like you, we're not competition.
Yeah, so in the workplace, they are constantly showing how they are better than,
right?
How they can achieve this thing with a lesser time, better than so and so, narcissists anyway generally don't trust people generally, but this one they cannot let you in because they expect you'll take over from them. So it's me, right? I can't let you get better than me. So the buzzword for antagonistic is competitive, and they will win at all costs. It doesn't matter who they kill on the way. Yeah. So communal is a very interesting type of, and I think I alluded to communal. They are always helping people.
Right. This is the one you were talking about who seems to have empathy. Okay.
I paid school fees for Daisy. You see, she's getting her PhD. I paid for her all. Alikuwa amekwama, ni mimi nilimkwamua. So they seem very altruistic, but remember, they want who gets the praise here?
They do.
And you have to notice it.
Right.
And so because the community is old, they love it. So that's why it's called communal, because the community sort of validates.
Yeah, because they're so happy to receive the help.
Yeah.
You know, if you didn't have fees and you're receiving.
So I used to see such a man in my village. When he has a function in his home, he will call the whole village and serve a lot of food. So people always sang. Then people composed songs. They get the school children to compose. So he'll give the village like 3 months notice so that songs are composed. And so he's edified.
Right.
You know, he's sitting there listening and nodding.
Yeah.
And then calling the children, dishing out, 5 bobs. So that's a communal narcissism.
So is that their version of grandiosity? That's how it manifests,
They
right?
expose the good they have done. Yeah.
So inwardly, they have no empathy. It's just feeding their ego. It's not about having empathy for the community.
And if you bring them a case, you say you are known as the man who helps people.
Yeah.
If they design in that case, there will be no publicity.
It's a good test.
Now, we are paying too much taxes to the government. The business is doing poorly. They bring all manner of excuses.
Yeah.
But where they will shine,
yes.
Oh my goodness. You will get free tickets to anywhere. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the last one is the malignant one. And as the word says, malignancy, this is should I say the worst type of a narcissist? This one is overt, does not hide, is very vindictive. Right. This one will come after you. Is very vindictive, is very, many are paranoid. Remember the fantasy feature?
Yeah.
So they create scenarios where you will harm them. And because they believe their own stories, they will come for you.
How twisted is that?
Absolutely twisted. So very sadistic. These ones plan how to make people suffer.
Wow.
And they laugh when the suffering is happening. Yeah, I'll make sure I evict them. I will evict. Have you evicted? Are they outside in the rain? Are they outside in the rain? And I'm serious. I have seen it.
So for them, that's their signature, like being sadistic.
Yes. Taking so much joy in other people's suffering. So imagine if you had expressed a contrary opinion and they hear you have suffered a calamity. Oh my goodness. That's celebration day. They'll be saying, oh, happy day. That will be their happy day.
My goodness.
Can you imagine?
So what do we do with this? Like, and I feel like I think there's a time we're discussing about narcissism being an epidemic in this world, not just in our country, everywhere. It's a problem, but people do not yet know the extent of narcissism, but it causes damage, untold damage.
Everywhere.
Yeah. We see narcissistic leaders everywhere. And so my question now is, how then do we heal these narcissistic leaders? What do we do? Because it's a problem in society.
Yeah. I think as I was coming to this podcast, I thought about if you have a narcissistic boss, leader, in your orbit, national leaders, we probably have to wait for the ballot.
Yeah.
or the constitution allows us to get them out. But how to respond to a narcissistic leader at work maybe is to, first of all, realize you are not the problem. Admit it. Many people don't want to admit that their father or the boss is narcissistic.
Right.
Admit it. Because it helps you when you admit it, because then you start to see then all the we call it gaslighting, because they make sure they are great and you are not great. And they make sure you are not great. Gaslighting. So that you guard yourself against being gaslit. So then therefore manage your expectations. Don't expect them to be a normal, empathic. No, just no. As you said, self-awareness. And then this one I have done myself. Keep a trail of every communication with them. Me, I went into the extent of, I'm having a conversation with you, I'm recording it.
It's gotten to that point.
Yes, of course I won't tell you. And I know I'm offending the media bill, the media act, the media laws.
Yeah, but it's
privacy laws.
Protect yourself.
But the day you go and tell the big boss what I said and it is not, and I produce it.
Evidence.
Of course you will hate me forever and run me out. But okay, I'm not advocating for breaking the law, but whatever you can do, keep a record. Make them repeat what they said to you in writing. Write to them and say, I write to confirm our conversation where you said, and I said.
Right.
Yes. So keep up a trail. And as much as possible, because they are tricksters, they will draw you in and then smash you. So keep your boundaries. You're my boss. I don't to come for my baby shower or my hot shower. Stick on your side. Stick to your lane. Keep the boundaries clear. Of course, please have a support system.
Right.
Get your people. Is it your chama or your girlfriends or your who? And tell them, guys, allow me to be venting here because I can't handle this. So have a support system. But at the same time, especially if you see it's malignant narcissist, have an exit strategy. Keep
the only way is out.
Unfortunately. Actually, a lot of the literature around narcissism says the best cure for a narcissistic relationship is no contact. Go no contact. It's complex when it's your parent. It's complex when it's a sibling or, but it's very possible to go no contact. That's the only way, because these guys, it takes a long time for them to change. But of course, self-care.
So I know we need to wind up on this, but one last question is, so we can help ourselves who maybe are not narcissistic. What help is there for the narcissists themselves? Because I feel like are they even aware? How do we help them, or how can they be helped to even know that they're narcissistic and take action? Go to therapy. Does it work? I don't know. Over to you.
It's a tough call. So I'm assuming in your question, it's like you are the supervisor of a narcissistic leader in your team, or even people in your team.
Use that scenario.
Wow. Okay. I think if you are leading a group where there's a narcissist, you have to be very careful with boundaries. Remember, they are vindictive. They'll hit back. So make sure the expectations are very clear.
So my question, was now for the narcissist. We have so many narcissists in there. Okay, they're the people who don't go for therapy.
Maybe that's why I'm unconsciously I've ran away from the question. Because of what you said, insight, it's very hard for them to get insight. So, I think you can let them know. All the narcissists I have told very gently, you're actually, read this. this describes
the
you.
boxes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
They get very angry.
Yeah.
Because you don't call out a narcissist. It is, I'm the king of the
How
world.
dare you?
Yeah. So perhaps for me, as a Christian, I talk about praying for them.
Wow.
But I guess there's no harm in telling them the truth. And in a practice group that I belong, we are starting to see that with persistent loving on the narcissist and listening to and accommodating them, you can get little change. They can come to insight.
Okay.
Little baby steps, but you have to be very patient, even as a therapist.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think there's hope. There's what I call cautious hope. Yeah. So I guess just letting them know.
Yeah.
You know, it sounds like this person is really annoying you.
Yeah.
Would you go and process it in therapy?
Yeah.
It seems like, you know, from the actions they take.
Yeah.
Instead of telling them you're a narcissist, that will never wash. That won't wash. Yeah.
But I guess, you know, and that's interesting, you know, coming from a therapist like you, you have come across this type of people, and if that's how they react to even you showing them, hey, here is the evidence. I guess we have a lot of work to do, and, you know, back to faith.
Yeah.
It's a question I always ask God, is there no help? I always ask that question.
Yes.
What's the help?
Yeah.
Because most of the times you find the codependents or the ones who've been abused go and heal and they become better people.
Yeah.
But the ones who cause the abuse, not so much.
Actually, in my almost 2 decades of doing therapy, I have only met one narcissist who told me they were in therapy for 6 years, twice a week for 6 years. Wow. At the end of those 6 years, they realized they are a narcissist.
Wow.
I just said, okay.
Great. After 6 years.
But you see, very few will, stick until their eyes open. So because I have experienced that person more and more, they are very aware.
Yeah.
Like when you're in an eating place and they shout at the waiter, then they will catch themselves and say, that's the narcissist me.
All right.
So I find that to be a grand miracle.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's very encouraging what you've told there. Because I think I've watched maybe one YouTube, I can't remember what he calls himself, but he says he's a self-aware narcissist. So he helps others to heal from narcissism, but also just being self-aware.
That's another miracle.
I know, There are not too many.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Dr. Winnie. That has been such an interesting discussion on a topic that you're very passionate about, and I'm also very passionate about, having been abused by that side. So thank you so much. And I think you've gone into such depth of understanding codependency and codependent leaders, and also understanding narcissism and narcissistic leaders and the different types of narcissists. Thank you so much. And I'm sure even the audience is very, the viewers, the listeners have got an insight into this kind of disorders and what to do about them. So thank you very much. I can't wait to see you again on the next episode.
Yes, welcome, and thanks for the opportunity.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.